In 2003, while studying architecture at university, I learned the basics of architectural design in class, but at night, I taught myself how to use Cinema 4D. It was version 9, by the way, so quite some time ago. I was fascinated by how light can transform space, and experimenting in 3D meant I could visualize before physically creating models. And by hitting the render button with the right settings and the right amount of time, this could result in fantastically realistic looking renders. That was all good, but in 2007, after spending months on highly detailed models, and for my end of year project, I pressed the render button, but realized I needed a lot more time. I think this is a very familiar story with many of the people in this room. In fact, for my end of year project, I actually won an Autodesk award, even though the render was a lot less detailed than I wanted, and it was super flickery. In 2020, I learned about the render network, and it literally made complete sense. Not only did it change my life, but it meant that instead of rendering 100 frames to one GPU on my laptop, I could now send 100 frames to 100 GPUs. So near limitless scalability for GPU rendering. Fast forward to 2025, and I now lead the Render Network's grants program. So I have the opportunity to speak with motion designers, 3D artists, and studios all around the world, and I get to fund their projects that they want the most wildest rendering with. Media creation is undergoing an absolutely transformative shift from flat experiences to interactive, immersive worlds. The next generation isn't just about better graphics and fidelity, it's about presence and connection. And it's going to need all the GPUs that it can get. So far, the Render Network has rendered over 61 million frames, equivalent to 470 full-length movies and over 750,000 unique 3D jobs. And this is outstanding. I'm sure some of the people in this room are very familiar with the Render Network as well. Very recently, we collaborated with 16 world-class artists to produce Submerge, Beyond the Render, our art tech house. This is an 18K 270-degree venue in New York. I was there the other week. It has been picked up by various media outlets, such as the New York Daily News, Time Out, and Associated Press. And the feedback has been absolutely outstanding. There's nothing quite like this that I've seen anyway. And to put it in perspective, 18K is 44% more pixels than the Sphere's 16K, which is outstanding in its own right. These are just words, but let me give you a preview of what Submerge actually looks like. The show is on until February next year. And of course, we have an exclusive discount for Motion Plus Design attendees. Do take a picture of that if you like. So if anyone's planning a trip to New York, definitely check that out. I mentioned the Las Vegas Sphere a moment ago. The Render Network has, of course, helped power some of the most breathtaking visuals shown there. This piece by Annibalis Iconolfi, an amazing guy and an exceptionally talented 3D artist, for Anima's End of Genesis show. The Render Network has also helped stunning visuals from David Ariev and Chelsea Evenstars come to life for Zed's Coachella show. And they actually produced a custom version of this for Art Tech House. There's also been some experimental work combining 3D and AI, but final frame rendering on the Render Network. Now, for 2025 and beyond, we know the world is changing when it comes to media. So, in terms of what the Render Network has planned, there's a lot to empower artists for the future in terms of 3D and AI workflows. We have this amazing native Cinema 4D wizard, which is live. People are able to use this to literally one-click upload to the Render Network. We have full Redshift integration for those who work within the Maxon ecosphere. Friends at Maxon are here as well. And this is a lovely integration for those who use Redshift. We also have Blender Cycles integration for the millions of Blender users worldwide. In fact, one of the leading key influencers of Blender, Jess Wiseman, her piece was also rendered on the Render Network, and that was the one with the popcorn and the robot at Art Tech House. We have a render API for those who want even more control with how they render and for tighter integrations into workflows. This is quite a game changer as well, differential upload. So for those of you who are really working with some heavy scenes, especially in the Orbex format. So differential upload checks what's changed and only uploads those parts. So instead of sending, a 2 GB file every single time, maybe it's just a few megabytes. We also have a render manager app for a very streamlined approach to both output and downloads. And of course, we're constantly developing useful tools that help independent artists, larger studios, and everybody else in between to just render quicker. Also on the Render Network, we have popular AI tools that people can play with and experiment with. I tend to spend hours at a time just reiterating various images with some of the models on there. Some of our artists have also been using these tools to conceptualize straight from their rendered output and using that as a basis to then refine their 3D scene. It's quick and easy to use, but doesn't replace the artist-first experience. And we also have Gaussian splats. Gaussian's one of those words that's always difficult to pronounce, but those can also be used on the Render Network for next-gen spatial media. In addition to all of this, because the Render Network is a global community, we host various initiatives for that community. So Render Royale is something that we do every month. It's a global contest with a different theme every single month. Anybody is welcome to join as long as the work is rendered on the Render Network, and there's also, obviously, prizes to give individuals. Some of our judges are exceptionally talented artists from across the world, some of which I've mentioned and have been featured in multiple places across the planet. It's absolutely amazing. Now, I mentioned that I lead the Artist Grants program. If anybody has a project that needs rendering, whether it's commercial, personal, spatial, immersive, or just something for fun, you're more than welcome to let me know. Feel free to take a picture of this slide. My email address is right there. And we can chat. It's something that many artists have utilized to produce some fantastic work that's been shown globally around the world. And of course, for Motion Plus Design attendees, we're giving away a couple of credits as well. So some free render credits for you guys to use. It doesn't matter what you use it for. We're just more than happy to give this to all of you. Yeah, thank you so much for having me. My name's Sunny Osahn, and I'm from the Render Network.